this is so cool. This is awesome. Okay, wait. This is really, really cool. This is a picture of Philidor. So that was basically the guy that was known at the time. Look at when this book was published. The chess game, brought into systematic order by Alexander Petrov, parts 1 and 2. Theory of Chess, St. Petersburg, typed up by 1824. Okay, this is Old Russian. So in the 1800s, there was a bunch of Russian characters in the alphabet that are not used today. It's hard for me to read this. To the Lovers of Chess, that was the publisher. But Russian was a lot more modern in the early 1800s than English was. Like, you could get the sense that there were people like us because like the language was a lot more similar, but the alphabet is different, so it's hard to read. The name chess is derived from Persidskого, the Iranian word shah, or the Arabic word sheikh, which means czar or king. The chess game, in the grand sense, yeah, you can basically saying chess is awesome. In the next paragraph, he's saying chess is awesome. Chess is ancient, blah, blah, blah. But we want the moves. We want to see how he notates. Yes. No, that's not a diagram. That's weird. Вывести офицера. Oh, he calls the bishop differently. So the bishop used to be called офицер in Russian. So development of the bishop. Forced to win. Gambit. Gambito. That's вперед. Sacrifice. Close. Interval. Knight. Rook. Yeah, so he just defines everything well. But there's no actual, like, chess moves here, I think. It's just maxim. Oh, it's just, like, rules. Okay, develop the, like, kingside knight before the kingside bishop and stuff. And that these are, like, okay, general rule. All of the strength of the game is contained in the connection of two pawns in the center of the board, so e4 and d4. In order to conquer the control of like a flank. Yeah, there's no actual moves though. Oh, there is. What is this? Wow, this is so interesting. So notation wasn't like a thing. Game 1. Okay, this is awesome. This says game 1. White, black. Huh. King's pawn, 4 squares. It says kings, pawn, king, 4 squares. Pawn, king, 4 squares. King's knight, 3 squares. Queen's knight, 3 squares. White's bishop, king, 4. Wow, so it's basically old notation. Zoom it in. Okay, this is what it says basically. It's not algebraic. I guess not. So notation didn't even exist. So it says pawn, king, 4 squares. King, 4 squares. And then castle is just castle. So this is in Italian. White's queen. No, this is queen's bishop 3. So basically this is like algebra, or what is the bad notation? Descriptive. And then knight takes pawn. BER is like takes, the abbreviation for takes. This is Cyrillic. I should play this out on a board. Okay. Let's play this out on a board. Fine. Let's look at the game. He gives an 1820. Yeah, the Russians are interested. E4, E5. Pawn, king, 4 squares. Pawn, king, 4 squares. King's knight, 3 squares. King's knight, queen's knight, 3 squares. White's bishop, 4 squares. I mean, you guys can read what I'm reading. Black's... It's okay, black's bishop to the queen's side. Pawn, queen's bishop, 3. Knight. Pawn, 4. King's pawn takes, check. Oh, this is this line. This is a famous line. Check. Coin. Okay, knight c3. Oh, this is probably the Greco game. Castles. Knight takes, takes, and now the move is queen b3. The modern move is queen b3. Okay, king. So where were we? Pawn takes pawn, and a check. Castle takes, bishop takes, queen b3. Okay, queen b3, bishop takes. So look, see footnote 3. We will check footnote 3 after the game. This is a very famous game that's been known since the 1600s. Check. King moves aside. Bishop 4 squares. Bishop 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, queen, bishop g5. This is correct. Knight 2 squares. Okay. Yep, knight to king's pawn. Takes d4. Bishop h5. d5. Queen f3 check. Bishop f5. Take the knight. This is probably not the best for white, I think. Bishop takes knight. King takes. One sec. Yeah, mate is coming in 2 moves. Don't worry. 1 second. I'm just checking. So check there. So it says bishop takes. Oh, the king takes the bishop. Jesus. Okay, I'm trying to read this. So where were we? Queen f3 check. Bishop f5. Oh, bishop takes bishop. Sorry. This is all correct. 1 sec. So 3. So this is something like this. Oh, bishop g6. Bishop g6. Bishop g6, I think. d5, queen f3 check. Bishop f5, bishop takes f5. There we go. That's it. And then pawn takes. So I think it's like this. There's some move. And the mate is like this. Okay. The other bishop should be on f4. But yeah, something to this effect. This is basically right. And then in the footnotes... Yeah, so basically he's giving all these games. Game number 2. Oh, the footnotes are themselves other games. So like they're variations and stuff. Okay. So that basically is one of the earliest books ever written. Now, there was an even earlier book written on chess. Let me just go to the speedrun scene. Okay. So basically, the earliest book ever written on chess also happens to be one of the earliest books ever written in the English language. Because earlier, books had been written in the Latin language. There was a guy named William Caxton. William Caxton was let me go full cam for this. William Caxton was an Englishman. He was like a businessman. He was a printer. He printed books. Born 1422, died 1491. He was like a diplomat. He was like one of those, he was a cool dude. And he wrote one of the earliest books ever written in the English language that also happened to be called The Game and Play of the Chess. The Game and the Play of the Chess. This was written in the 1400s. Let's see if we can find it in the original edition online. The game, but I don't think it contains actual chess moves. It just contains chess as an analogy to life. Yes, Gutenberg.org. It exists. I guess I bet you people didn't know this. Yeah, so there. Okay, it's written in the kind of old text that that is unreadable for us, but it's been translated. Let me see. Let me do a search for chess. It's very little practical bearing on the game. So it's called that, but it's not actually really about chess. I'm just doing a search of chess in the book. Okay, let me show it. It's kind of cool. No, it's not been translated. The text, no, that hasn't been translated. Trust me. Look at what I'm reading. Look at what I'm trying to read. This. It's been translated into like modern text, not chess. I'm just doing the second chapter of the first treaty shows who found the first play of chess. Yeah, great. This is very understandable. Chessmen, blah blah blah. Duchess. I don't want Dutch. Riches. See, the word chess is actually not really contained very often. For as much as the noble person cannot. Yeah, this is Old English. This is actually Old English. The fourth treaty and the last of the progression of the forced play of the chess. Tractat is treaties. It's treaties. Used about the things that pertain to the forms of the chessmen and of their offices. This is a photo of someone playing chess in the 1400s. That's kind of cool. I mean, this is really cool. But the last thing we're going to find... Look at this. Look at this dude just like casually playing chess. Look at this dude just like casually playing chess. Yeah, I don't know about this position. I feel like you wouldn't want to mess with someone like that. But the reality is, we wouldn't be able to like interact with anyone from the 1500s. This is a little disgusting, but okay. My other passion is history. So I was interested in a thought experiment, which is like, imagine if like William Shakespeare appeared in wherever you're sitting with your computer or your phone. Like imagine if like someone from the 1500s appeared. Would you be able to communicate with him? Like, would you be able to communicate with the author of this book and explain to him that you're watching a Twitch stream where you're reading his book? Or would they just like faint? But the reality is, oh, my iPad died. Sorry, I have to go to my phone. But the reality is, we probably wouldn't be able to be in the same room as them. We would probably faint. Because, oh, I got a donation. One sec. Sorry. Okay, that was it. So basically, they smelled so bad because they showered like once a year. And their teeth were in such bad that we wouldn't be able to like be in the same room as them. And I read this by a historian. Like they like change their underwear like 2 times a year or something. And like that was like actually a thing. So anyways, they would burn you at the stake. No, like I think you would understand. Well, like the privileged, people in the society, the elite, they watch like once a year, once a week. Okay, so let's see if I can translate some of the 15. This is 1561. 1561. Ruy Lopez himself wrote this book. This is Ruy Lopez. This is Ruy Lopez. Chapter, whatever, this is 7, in which are declared the names of the chess and how are named of the trabajo is a chess piece. I actually know this word. Chess is defined by the table with like 8 lines. Okay, this is actually easier for me to read than the Russian. Okay, I don't care. 10th chapter, the form of the king. Let's see if we can find any moves. Bishops, I think Arfil is the bishop. Knights. Here he talks about rooks. Rook, it could be castle or rook. Pawns. Let me see. I don't know if this is interesting, but I think it is. Oh, he's talking about the old form of the pawns. Doesn't this guy realize he's old? He's talking about, in which is talked about the old form of the pawn, which used to be which is situated in front of the queen's file. The pawn which is situated in front of the, I'm not sure what the queen's file has some form. A man with the right arm. And he's talking about bread and wine. When did he go from the D pawn to bread and wine? Man, did these guys in the 1500s think about anything about except their next glass of wine? Where does he actually define the Ruy Lopez, I wonder? Huh. I don't see any moves, though. Yeah, he's not actually giving any moves. He's just talking and talking and talking. I mean, I see the chess pieces here, but he's just talking. There's no diagrams. Yeah, he's talking about beauty. Videlo primero. Yeah, and then we're back at the beginning. So these were old books where like they didn't really talk about. I guess he's defining stuff, but he's not really. Oh, yes, openings. Yes. The other way of starting the game with the king's pawn. 1 second. Yes. Wow, notation. I found notation. This is really cool. This is notation. Okay, so the other way to start the game. And he says, queen's pawn 4 squares. 1 sec. Queen's pawn 4 squares. Same with black, I think. Lo mismo is the same. So e4, e5. Alfil del rey a la 4. So e4. Oh, bishop c4. Alfil de su rey. Okay, 1 second. e4, e5. I'm just reading. Yeah, he's analyzing. If black retreats his bishop. Huh. Okay, let's read this. It's Phil is king's bishop. Yes. That's what I thought. Okay. e4, e5. So king's bishop to c4. But like he's talking about the queen's bishop, but the queen's bishop cannot move, like because white has played e4. Oh, c4. Oh, c3. Oh, so this is like e4, e5, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight f6. Yeah, so he's analyzing basically. This is really cool. Yeah, so this guy in the 1500s is casually analyzing chess games. You might conjure up demons home, but these are friendly demons. These are chess demons. All right. But I gotta end. Oh, 2549 viewers. Look at this. I mean, isn't that cool? We found Ruy Lopez's book on chess, and this guy just like casually 500 years ago sitting over a chess book and making moves. I don't know. If that's not cool, then what is? In short, that's why I think history is cool. But basically, there's many books written in the 1600s. We can look at Philidor's book from the 1700s, but that's in French, and yeah, I'm sure it's been translated. There's probably even an early translation, and that's the power of the internet. You can just look at that book fully digitized from some library where it was found. Yeah, I mean, we're reading it 500 years later, but we're imagining this guy just sitting around like, analyzing. That's another reason that chess, an underestimated reason chess is beautiful, is because it unites people of all ages. And like, what other activity other than like eating and drinking have people been doing? Well, I feel like there's a lot of possible answers to this, but in a non-vulgar sense, like what other what other entertainment activities have people been doing for 500 years? Plenty, but you know what I mean. That is another question, by the way, to which I dedicated some historical research, but I will eventually do a mature-only stream where I talk about that. So anyways, I'm sure it's a question a lot of people are curious about, but I will not talk about it right now. But anyways, trust me, I've researched a lot of different things. I'll explain what I mean later, but we need to round off with one last game before I go to sleep. Before I go to sleep, we will play one more speedrun game, and then, sorry, I did not mean to do this. Apparently there's a name in this stuff, and then we will end. Now I do have to sleep because I have commentary starting in 9 hours. Okay, I have not watched Money Heist. You guys ready for one last game? All right, after consulting the ancient texts, I'm ready to destroy a 1600 this time. Who plays the Scandinavian? Okay, now in the Scandinavian, we know already that knight c3 is the best move to attack the queen and develop a knight. Now we occupy the center with d4. And now we follow the ancient wisdom of Petrov, who said to develop the knight to f3 first. I don't think we played this guy, actually. I disagree. Now, he's just moving his pawns, and there is no particular way in which we should respond. No, we did not play this guy the last time. There is no particular way that we should respond to this other than to continue development. Are you sure we played him? Well, I'm looking at my game history. I don't see him. But anyways, bishop d3 is simple. Oh, it's just the overlay hasn't changed. There we go. That's so weird. It contained the name of the last opponent, but the moves are transmitting correctly. Okay, so let's centralize the knight. That was really funny. And develop our bishop. So right now I'm just developing all my pieces. I'm not doing anything crazy, which is why I'm moving fast. Okay. Now, what should we do in this? Yeah, I was like, what? What should we do in this position? Let's bring our queen out to f3, which is a very typical way to apply pressure on his position. Notice that I'm also giving up the d4 pawn, and there is a reason that I'm doing that. And the reason that I'm doing that is because he's so poorly developed that if he takes on d4 with his queen is going to be incredibly vulnerable to attack. Now, what should we do in this position? We can win a pawn. It's the Ruy Lopez demon. It's Ruy Lopez. Loose pieces, drop off. Boom. If he takes, we take the bishop. Loose pieces drop off. That's a free pawn. There's no reason not to take it. Okay, he goes knight d5, so he attacks the bishop. Let's take it. Now we do need to move the knight away, so let's move it back to c3. Okay, so we're up a pawn. We're in good shape. He's probably going to go here. Nope, he's going to go f6. Okay, now what should we do in this situation? And I'll give you guys a hint. We can create a counter threat against his pawn on h7 because we have a bishop on t3. That's very, very strong. A lot of people might think the move is queen h5. But be very, very careful. Because if we... Oh, we got another... Oh my goodness. Oh my lands. We got another one from Gem Jam. Another 10,000. Are you kidding me? I will have a good night. We're going to go queen h3 so that g6 doesn't come with tempo. What a day this has been, and culminating in 2 bombs dropped by Gem Jam. Now we're going to move our knight away now that we've provoked the weaknesses in his king side. And, oh, king h8, pin. What does this tell us about what we should do? Thank you so much, Gem Jam. Oh, what should we do here? Boom. We will take the pawn on g6, yes. And the game is almost over. That is a second. And again, we do the same thing we did earlier. We just take a pawn and we drop the bishop back. Okay. Now we have a really nice tactic. How do I see this tactic? What I'm seeing is that the queen defends the pawn on h7 against checkmate. We know that when the queen defends a pawn, that's not a good situation. We can take a third pawn. And if he takes the queen, if he takes the knight, we can take on h7. And the game will be, by and large, the game will be over. Now, he's going to go knight d7. Now, most people here would take the rook. The thing about this is we can do a lot more than take the rook. We can do a lot better because we have this h-file open. We can attack down that h-file, following the ancient wisdom of the greats with knight takes h7. We don't need to take bishop takes h7 because if bishop h7, we give up the knight, and that same knight can be used to go to h7 himself. And this is just going to be completely winning. We are up 4 pawns, and we are crushing him with an attack. Okay. Now let's find the checkmate. He has also given up his rook, but there is mate in 2 moves. How do we find the checkmate? We realize that we can move the knight away with a discover check. Our second mission in this position is to cover the g8 square, because after we move the knight, that is going to be his only escape square for the king. And that's how you often, when you're discovering a check and you want to checkmate your opponent's king, the way that you want to think about the discover is, can I move my piece away such that that very same piece somehow contributes to the mating mechanism? As you guys can see, the move is knight f6 check. And the game is over. It's mate. Very simple game. We just developed our pieces. And this is why I don't recommend openings such as the Scandi to a lot of players in the intermediate range, because they tend to do stuff like this, giving us a huge lead in development. The one thing I'd like to talk about is what would have happened if he had gone queen takes d4. Now, when you look at this move, the immediate thing you should notice is the relationship between the queens. So if this bishop could move away with check, then that would win the queen. And so you need to find a tactic in order to force the king onto a square where you could deliver check to. This looks like a complicated combination, but the logic behind it, no pun intended, is very simple. You're just trying to get the king onto a square where you can deliver the discover check. So he couldn't do this, and that meant he had to allow us to continue putting our pieces on very good squares. Now we play knight takes b5, using the fact that the bishop is unprotected. We drop the knight back. We attack h7. If he had taken the knight, we take it. Check. And checkmate is very simple. We can even checkmate with a pawn. D takes c5. And after knight g4, I mean, his position has already been softened up. We take on g6. We take on f6, distracting the queen. Notice how our own queen, and I've mentioned this often, the queen is often sort of the supporting actress. Our queen defends on g2 and simultaneously is responsible for basically is the agent of checkmate. What if he took the pawn later? That's a good question. So if he took the pawn here, we would have just defended the knight and then brought the other. Look how amazing white's position is, even a pawn down. So basically, this is just completely overwhelming because white's got pieces on amazing squares. And you could slide the queen over to h3 and create threats against the h7 pawn. So if he goes h6, you can already give a discovery and win the queen. What if... Yeah, so there's a bunch of tactical details here, but the long and the short of it is that white's got a huge attack. And the rest was very straightforward. Now just moving knight back to f6 and covering g8. We could have also taken the rook, of course, with total devastation, but we decided to play a little bit more precisely. Okay, that concludes today's streaming, guys. I'm exhausted. I will go to sleep and have commentary at 9 a.m. tomorrow. This has been a day of a legendary day. We have, I can't understand how many viewers. We have 3,000 viewers. I mean, maybe I should continue then. Maybe I should just play Blitz or something. But at the same time, I need to make the responsible decision and go to sleep. So I will be commentating. Brandon wants me to play Blitz. Oh, I guess some people want me to say Curious Chimpanzee just gifted 5 subs. The party continues. Curious Chimpanzee, thank you for the 5 gifted. To Bad Wolf, Arfanel, Ducati, Fellow Bailey, and Johnny 00. But I think the thrust of it is that people want me to sleep. But anyways, just a couple of things before I do. Basically, we had, of course, the earlier stream when people gifted incredible amount of subs, and the outpouring of support today is also very much welcome. Oh my god. And this never ends. This day just never ends. We're almost at 3170. Yazazi commands me to go to sleep, and I will. For 5 gifted, Yazazi. Thanks again. We got so much done today. We had Logic in the stream gifting 150 subs. We had Blitz. We had speedrunning. We had chess history, and I wanted to deliver a good stream to end the night because that is the least that I can do given the support today. And I will get some rest. I will be back tomorrow morning for the Speed Chess Championship for Robert Hess in the, like the rapper. Yeah, this was a great stream. I think we went down chess history. There's a lot more to talk about. I will prepare some more materials for more history streams. But in the meantime, I gotta go replenish myself, get some rest, maybe watch half an episode of I Gotta Choose a Show. If only there was an American Horror Story season I hadn't seen. But anyways, what's a good YouTube channel on history that okay, I'll do some exploring. So versus Duda tomorrow, you don't want to miss it. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern with my partner in crime, Robert Hess. Tomorrow, I have a very, very busy day. After that, I have my scan for my surgery, so I can't promise that I'll be streaming tomorrow, but I'll try to get a quick stream in during the day. We will do more Blitz and chess history. All right, guys. A huge, huge shout out to this amazing community. You guys are responsible for everything that happens. I do my very small part to put in my effort, but this is all thanks to the generosity of everybody here. So I'm honored to have these kinds of people watching my streams. Thank you to all of you. Stay safe, folks. Have an amazing night or morning wherever you are. And all right, and I will raid. Let's see who I will raid. I will raid Chessbra. Let's just raid Chessbra. Or Voyboy. Well, let's just raid Chessbra. All right. My boys Eric and Aman. You will be in their capable hands. Stay safe, everybody. Huge shout out to everybody who supports and watches. Good night, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.